Hey, welcome, Laura. How's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, how have things been?
Oh, good. Yeah, happy to have you here. Just had my birthday. Not that I'm
Hey,
advertise
woohoo,
that,
happy
but
birthday.
well, yeah, no, it's just a fun way to mark the time, and yeah, the brighter spot in this time of year, this
Mhm.
era in which we live. Oh yeah, my birthday happened to be on the Super Bowl too.
Hey, did you
Really,
watch?
really
Or
date this. Yeah, yeah, I caught most of it. Yeah, it was an interesting game. Not the most exciting. It went nice and quickly, though.
it really did. Yeah, it was kind of early on. You could figure out how things were going to go.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed the halftime show. I was very much here for that. Yeah.
Good for a former Minnesota Viking. But yeah, the both of us are here in
Mhm.
Minnesota. I'm in the northern part of the state, up in the sticks, and you're kind of more
South Metro.
in the
Yeah.
metro. Right. Well, fun. We will dive into some streaming movies, and it's the Oscar season, and there's some awards floating around this particular title that we're
Mhm.
discussing here on the Podcast, conversations about animation. Yeah, I'm hoping to be maybe a little more active in the 2026, new year, new me. I just had a birthday. No, but yeah, just come hop on for some chill chats with some cool folks on the Thodcast. And thank you, Laura, for joining on this Frankenstein of an episode. No,
Woohoo.
I think we'll stay fairly focused on this one, but no, we are talking. I mean, sort of appropriate. I think it was about a year ago the two of us came on to talk gothic horror with
Yeah.
Nosferatu.
hmm Similar vibes here. Yeah. Kind of
Yeah.
all leaning into the body horror, which I didn't think I'd be a fan of, but I'm like, wait, this is kind of rad. Like, yeah.
It's a pretty watchable movie. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, is a fairly crowd pleasing type of director. And I mean, some nastier horror elements, kind of in a cartoony sense. We like talking production design and
Mhm.
animation and visual spectacle here on the Thodcast, hence the sort of the name of the show. But we don't limit ourselves really to necessarily anything, just whatever sparks our fancy. But yeah, this Netflix production, from director Guillermo del Toro, and a very, very high production value film, two and a
Mhm.
half hours. How
Yeah.
is how is the runtime for you, Laura?
Yeah, so I actually caught this one at the theaters, which was really cool. It
Okay.
was like, I think it was
Yeah.
in October. I think October 24th is when Netflix had like a very limited run of this like at the cinema. And I was like, first of all, I had never seen any of Del Toro's films before, which is very surprising. And now I need to get into more of them. But I really didn't want to miss this in while I had the chance to see it on the big screen. And yeah, it was really captivating, just like visually, the sound design of it all. It just was really an experience. And I haven't yet watched it on the small screen to see how it compares, but I was just really taken into this world. And I love just like it felt like being in a Renaissance painting in a way. There's a lot of like chiaroscuro, like the light and the dark. It
Yeah.
really like has a nice view of the balance between that. It's like not all doom and gloom. There's so much bright colors, and it really kind of speaks to the heart of the story of like humanity in a way.
Mhm.
I have not read the book. I was wondering if you'd read Mary Shelley's book.
No, I unfortunately haven't done much analysis or investigation of the book. I haven't read the book, but I don't know. I've we all kind of know the story in a basic sense. I think I maybe had an abridged version read to me once
Yeah, that's what I'm
when I was a
thinking too.
kid.
Because I don't think I'd actually read her version of it, but there was like some kind of summarized like kid version of it. I think I grew up with that instead. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, and there's the Boris Karloff version, which I
Universal
this
Monsters.
I
Yeah.
should have like seen if I could just have that on. I didn't. I just finished this yesterday, the film,
Mm.
and I did watch the original. Was it 19? It's in the 30s, right? That original.
That sounds about right. Yeah, we'll
but
fact check that.
31,
Yeah.
1931. Like we rented the VHS from the
Wow.
library when I was a kid, and so I remember things. Well, yeah, like the hunchback dude. I think his name was like Fritz or something. He sort of was the abusive type character for the creature and spawn. Spurned the creature to some amount of violence, and then there's the famous Mel Brooks film.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorites of all time, Young Frankenstein. Like, yeah.
um and yeah, I was gonna, you said you saw it in theaters. I was curious when they said that they used a large format uh type of film, I guess what do they call it? Just, it's not a film. It's not film. It's a digital camera, but the aperture or the capture mechanism on there was in 65 millimeter.
Yes. So it felt like watching film, but like it wasn't. Yeah. I don't know exactly how they did it. They did explain this in this. So we just finished watching this like documentary, like 45-minute like featurette that
Anatomy
Netflix has put
lesson.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was really, really fascinating to see all the practical work that went into it and on all levels, like looking at set design, costume, movement, like so many different avenues there. But yeah, that they were talking about the film. It kind of went over my head a little bit. I was like, I don't know all these, but it sounds very fascinating with just the way, and you could just tell it made a difference, like seeing it. Like I this is one of those films where like I watch it and I'm like, I can't think of many other films that are out now that look like this, that feel like this. Like it has a very kind of distinct visual marker about it. It was really captivating.
Mm-hmm. It definitely looks and feels like a Guillermo del Toro film. We did talk about Pinocchio on the show.
Oh
Probably one
yeah,
on that
okay.
episode.
Which I haven't seen yet. Yeah, that's another one because he brought that up in the featurette about this theme of like fathers and sons and how that comes into play with like the creator being the father and the creation being the son, both in the Pinocchio story and then here in Frankenstein, and how he's particularly drawn to stories like that where it draws a lot from his childhood experiences with his father and things. And yeah, that was a cool parallel to see.
Okay, and Guillermo del Toro referenced his first film late on in the documentary. I don't know if you caught
Kronos.
Kronos.
Right? Yeah.
I was one. He referenced that, and I was like, "What is he talking about? Kronos, is that a character?" I mean, it could be well, almost certainly some kind of reference to the Greek myths, the Titan Kronos, who's the father.
That was my thought too. I haven't seen it, but that's the first thing I think of. Otherwise, I think of Incredibles, but that's unrelated.
Yeah, some kind of I mean, Oedipal, you think of mom, mother, son, but I mean, Oedipus had like a thing with his dad too, where he, unbeknownst to him, had an unfortunate encounter with his father, resulting in him killing his father, or kind of the ultimate sort of tragic figure, in that story. But then, Kronos, the father of Zeus. I wonder. I have not investigated that relationship that he's describing, Guillermo and his father. Do you know anything about his family history?
Not really, but I gather that it was probably a tumultuous kind of relationship where he maybe didn't feel like he measured up and is now sort of coming around and trying to sort of honor his younger self, especially now that he is a father, and sort of like be kind of step up and be encouraging of his kids' endeavors. I don't want to assume too many things, but that was kind of the vibe that I got from him talking. I was like, okay, that sounds about what it could be, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, clearly something indelible from his past, from which he draws upon a lot of inspiration. And he, I guess, was born in Guadalajara, Mexico, the son of automotive entrepreneur Federico del Toro Torres and mother Guadalupe Gomez Camberos, both of Spanish descent, raised in a strict Catholic household.
That comes through in this film too. There's a lot of Catholicism, the imagery with the angel of death kind of a thing as well, that motif, and the cathedrals as well. Just like, yeah, lots of really, I mean, I like kind of the romanticized aspects of it that are used throughout, and like how that ties into the story too is just visually really, really incredible. But yeah.
Yeah. There's the kind of striking way in which his characters just are styled, and the way they move, everything's very deliberate.
Yeah.
I mean, he, I don't know, doesn't necessarily do some of these, he hires very expert individuals like, the costume designer, production designer, all featured prominently, cinematographer in this documentary. And he just describes himself as the conductor of the orchestra. But I think he has a very strong sense of his own imprint that goes into this, conducting, this directing.
It's a real like creative director in a way, like artistic director of the entire all the aspects, but like not like micromanaging either. Like I like when he said in the documentary, he's like, the film will kind of like, I'm kind of paraphrasing what he says, but like the film will sort of tell you what it needs. And so like if things change, you sort of change along with it. And one thing I noticed with that, because I remember when this film was first announced, I think Andrew Garfield was going to play the creature. And that kind of, I was like, oh, cool. Because I really enjoy him as an actor, especially with his work in like the theater as well. So I was really keen to see that. But he dropped out at some point, and I think, I don't know exactly the reason, but this was around the strikes and everything, so probably something in his schedule got just stuck and he couldn't really commit to this project, so he had to leave. It happens, but Jacob Elordi was brought on, I think 9 weeks before they started filming, which is crazy. And now I cannot picture anyone else in that role. Like that was so like transformative, like, because we all have this idea of the creature throughout time. We've seen it so many different portrayals, so many like very iconic, like when you think Frankenstein, you kind of are thinking the Karloff monster, like Universal monster, like that's what you're thinking. But it just took on a new form and was really like, it just like gave us more of the humanity of it, and just was really like a really transformative performance. Like you could not tell that it was him, first of all, and then just like his movement. I remember seeing in the documentary he had studied Buto, which is like a Japanese dance art that draws from like the movement of corpses. And so like there's a lot of this sort of like belabored, very anatomical sort of the way that he moves is very intentional, very like it all adds to this piece of the puzzle, and like was just, I was really, so that was one of those choices that I'm pretty sure like probably threw a wrench in things, but worked out phenomenally. I was like, way to go, Jacob Elordi, dang. Yeah.
It was a very intense role, and Elordi is kind of up and coming. He wasn't Elvis in the Baz Luhrmann film, was he?
No, that was I can't think of his name. Austin Butler. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he was.
Yeah, was it Priscilla?
Priscilla, yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it was an effective role because he's so. He's especially tall.
He's Jacob so tall. Elordi. Yeah. Which is why when they announced him, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I feel like he's going to, I mean, first of all, visually, that's going to work out very well. He's a looming presence, but yeah. I had not really seen much of his acting. I know he was on shows kind of geared towards younger audiences like Euphoria and things like that. So I'd not seen a lot of his sort of like serious drama work, even though that's pretty serious to some, but still I was like, I was very just like pleasantly surprised. I'm like, oh, get it. Yeah.
And there was just the intensity of the demands of the makeup, and he's, I guess, sat in one makeup session for 10 hours. I can't imagine.
That's grueling. Oh my God. I saw he was playing his Switch. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like, what else do you do? Yeah. Just sit there.
He must have just been able to wear it for a little multiple consecutive days, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like it was pretty sturdy process. These were kind of thick applications that they were
Yeah,
pasting
because it's
on him.
prosthetics too, and like there's just
Yeah.
different parts to make it look like it comes from different people and parts and things. But so it's not just like makeup. There's like layers and stuff to it.
Being
That's
willing to do that though, like
that's
yeah,
props to him, honestly. Like, jeez.
he earned his paycheck for this, for sure.
Mhm.
And then the the movement. I mean, it's great that they reference this Japanese style of dance and mime. I guess you could say too, because like, it, I kept thinking of Doug Jones
Oh yeah.
when the creature moved.
Kind of like
Was
because that he's also a
totally-
frequent collaborator with Del Toro. But
yeah, I mean, so awesome, just the way Doug Jones is able to move
Yeah.
his body.
He probably is like hyperextended or something. Like probably has just some kind of I think he has like extra skin that allows him to be able to be as flexible as he is, which is that's insane. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he studied mime professionally. Doug Jones did, but like then seeing so much of that, I don't know, stylistically conveyed through this new actor, this new collaborator. I just it didn't seem like a coincidence, It felt very deliberate.
Really, it was chosen for like a reason, like that he could take on the physicality of a role like that.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably likes to work with people that can really transform and like can commit to like trying new ways of movement and just performance and have that inform their character and the story and everything. And yeah, it really shows.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know the creatures, some of the motion of the various, not just the creature, Jacob Elordi's Frankenstein monster, but the incredible sequence of the proto Frankenstein.
Yeah, the automaton type thing. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah,
that reminded me of Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if any kind of like stop motion animation went into
I wonder. Yeah, it had that kind of quality about it. It was like, and I noticed throughout the film too, like there was like use of like CGI and some animation there, but it was not super like, sometimes it can be really jarring in a film that has a lot of practical sets and effects and things. But I think the two blended really well. And also there was a lot of like illusions and things with the way things were shot. I think the tower was like, they made a miniature that was like to be seen from like further away with all the details, and then the ship was an actual like ship, like that looked incredible, like
a bit like the Coppola Dracula film in that way. The practical in-camera illusion, and the fact that tower was a miniature is pretty cool. Felt very Lord of the Rings.
Oh sure, yeah.
We did talk about the Coppola Dracula film on a previous episode too, and then you and I spoke about Nosferatu, so be sure to check those out. So I mean, fun subjects, of course, and then this being like a prestige type film.
Awards. What are they up for? I haven't checked yet, but
Best Picture Oscar, right?
Hey, okay.
I have to double check all this. I thought I pulled it up, but Academy of let's see, not that one. Anyways,
there's a lot. Okay, there's Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor for Jacob Elordi, Adapted Screenplay, Cinematography, Production Design, Costume Design, Makeup and Hairstyling, Original Score, and Best Sound for Academy Awards at least. And then there's a bunch of other type things. But yeah, we'll see. That's in March, I believe, March 15th.
Yeah. Okay, wow. What was I getting on about with Jacob Elordi? We're talking about parallels to Guillermo's other films, and I guess we kind of covered most of that. Just yeah, the way he has the signature kind of, and you said Kira.
Chiaroscuro, yeah,
Yeah,
darkness and light. So the chiaro being the light and the oscuro being the dark. It's an Italian term that you see a lot in the arts, particularly kind of in Renaissance paintings, but also you see it in opera as well. They want you to sing with chiaroscuro, where it's not all dark but not all bright either. You kind of have to find that midway point where you use shades of both throughout your singing. And yeah, so it's like a style of art, and I actually looked this up as well because the film had a lot of deliberate art references that I wanted to kind of point out. There was Hamlet in York's skull by Wentworth is kind of referenced with the creature holding the skull. The creation of Adam, Michelangelo with the fingers, that's referenced when Elizabeth and the creature kind of are first meeting underground. There's also the incredulity of St. Thomas, which has the St. Thomas with like, he's got like some, what is it? Yeah, he's all like ripped up in the middle by Gerard Van Hout.
He has that scar on his side, on his torso.
The scars, yes. So that is sort of a reference to that. Las Meninas by Velázquez, with like the young girl who's kind of being like dressed up, and there's like a lot of people surrounding her. I'm trying to remember what that scene is in the film, but I'm looking at a picture of it right now, which is not the best way for me to try to describe it. But the main one that I noticed immediately was Vanitas by Simon Renard de Saint-Andre, which is a scene where it's got like there's like a table and there's a skull at the table, but then there's also like flowers and books, and it's just kind of this very like a still life, but it has a lot of life to it. And so that's kind of there. I think it's like this, the scene of Elizabeth, she's like posing with like a very similar array of items, but yeah, there. And then Medusa, that's another one by Caravaggio. And we see kind of a Medusa like figure as well. But yeah, a lot of Renaissance like art references that were really intriguing to see.
Makes a lot of sense. Oh, I know what I was going to say. When it comes to the visual effects, you know, it combines some cool practical elements with CGI, but there was some fairly harsh offenders when it came to the realism with the, I would say, like the animals, the wolves and the
deer and stuff. That could be kind of tricky. Yeah.
You kind of expect that nowadays because they rarely use real animals on set. They did use,
and understandable,
wolves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Okay,
as a reference, at least a little bit in the they showed them behind the scenes, but it was a little obviously kind of cartoony when the wolves attacked a little bit, but I don't know, some wild visceral moments too during some of those animal sequences. It might, I don't know, it's probably the most off-putting sequences of violence. Just seeing some of the ways.
Oh yeah, that was brutal. Like, oof.
Yeah, but getting ahead of ourselves, I guess. But yeah, just getting into the thrust of the film, and it's got this kind of framing device, which is kind of cool. I was in right away, like when we're showing 1857, the North Pole, or the further
the ship. As soon as we saw a ship, I was like, I'm here. Yeah. Captain's log, like, count me in. Yeah.
I mean, it does follow the novel, I guess, in a way, with the ship sequences, but I don't know to what extent. Like, I mean, it was a nice little capper at the end, like satisfying,
little bookend.
So I like that part of it. It did maybe drag a little bit in the middle for me. Long movie, and kind of it's a bit of a criticism. And I reviewed like the honest trailer before watching this. Like they said, they kind of pointed out the sort of millennial generation, Gen Z kind of Netflix generation of like really kind of having to hammer points home, and
Oh,
you
sure.
know, so like a little basic in how it communicates its themes, and yeah, kind of like a big dumb, superhero blockbuster in certain ways, how that's handled. But overall, most, plenty entertaining. But yeah, for me, maybe just a little bit, I don't know, a little too familiar. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. I did also like the framing device as well of like splitting it into like, this is Victor's story, this is Elizabeth's, and then the creature. Like, yeah, just kind of like having a point of view for each part was like, yeah, kind of refreshing way to switch it up a little bit. And
I like that.
Yeah.
Because it does help to kind of break something like this up. If they're not going to make it into a full-on series,
right,
chapter,
which would be really cool. Yeah, but yeah, at least kind of approaching it in this way gets you to kind of dive into these characters a little more. And yeah, with Victor as well, like that's a character that has a lot of like nuance to it, because it's like, I mean, you can kind of look at him as like a who is the monster and who is the man type character, where it's like, he starts out with like this sort of lofty goals and ideals of like, oh, I'm going to change the world with this, reanimating life and all of that, and then it kind of gets to his head, definitely. But yeah, and then the whole themes of like fatherhood as well, and then I know they made a change to Elizabeth where she's not engaged to him as she is in the book. I think they expanded the brother character, which is kind of in the book but only as a child, so they age him up, and then he is engaged to Elizabeth, but then Elizabeth and Victor still kind of have some kind of a connection. But just to kind of, I think they wanted to sort of have a little bit more of that divide again of like, I guess him not able to have that. But yeah.
Yeah. Interesting kind of, I felt like maybe they didn't go far enough in certain avenues. They're clearly exploring like, some of the relationship. I mean, I'm kind of glad there wasn't anything too drawn out between Victor and
I think it was just enough. Like it was what it needed to be. But I really liked it though. I like the scene. I think he was like in the church and he puts on that voice. That was the theater like kind of erupted at that. They were very here for Oscar Isaac in that moment. And yeah, he killed that. But yeah, like you get to really see this character throughout multiple phases of his life. And he starts out, obviously he's like kind of at death's door, like at the ship, and then he starts recounting the story. You see him as a young child. You see kind of what he went through. They use again Mia Goth, who plays Elizabeth, to also play his mother. So you see kind of how the loss of her impacted him, and then his relationship with his own father, who was very strict and overbearing and abusive as well. And just like all this stuff that sort of informs who he ends up becoming, and then I guess he doesn't really realize that he is becoming his father when he does have this son of sorts with the creature. But when it kind of, his pride sort of gets the better of him in a way. But yeah.
And generally unlikable characters. Charles Dance does a pretty convincing job of playing the father, who's sort of abusive, but also just sort of like negligent too. I think the father just didn't care that much for either Victor or maybe even his wife. He said he kind of resented them for some reason, but also gravitated to the younger brother. I mean, it's almost as if he was like grateful to the younger brother. A lot of times you'll see the child of like, a mother who dies during childbirth, be like resented by the parent, by the father. But it was sort of the opposite. And that's interesting because like in Game of Thrones, Tyrion, right, was responsible for the death of his mother. Of course, the same actor plays Tyrion's father and Victor's father.
So now I'm thinking of Wicked, because that also is kind of a similar thing too, with Elphaba and Nessarose. Technically, it's Nessarose's birth that causes the death, but then they really link that all to Elphaba. They're like, well, she wouldn't have been born that way had it not been for you being green, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who, for whatever reason, people go through various evolutions, and clearly, this was a fairly aged parent at this stage, because not that long after Victor and William's mother passes that they have
the brother,
and they get split up between different relatives, and the expansion of the brother character is something not from the novel, but works really well here. I thought I like that they're like Roy and Walt going at their enterprise. But I thought that was believable how they would kind of partner together to build this lab, and then they had their benefactor as well with
Harlander,
of Christoph Waltz.
Mm-hmm.
He was nominated for Academy. Was okay. I was struggling to find the Academy Award nominations because I was looking at Mia Goth's award instead of the film itself. But I'd be impressed if if the brother William, if he was nominated for like a best supporting.
I didn't see it for Academy. I think for Academy, the only actor that got recognized was Jacob Elordi. Otherwise, maybe there might be some other award that. I didn't take a look through all the other awards that were on there. I just was looking at Academy Awards, but there's a possibility. Yeah. Best
supporting for Elordi, and that was it. But I was half expecting to see Waltz on here as well. I mean, because he's sort of a perennial nominee. But then also with an invented character like William, that would be especially impressive if
because there's really no source material to go off of that with, and so you're just kind of creating the character and with the characters that already existed. But it's quite a feat.
That his. We're basically spoiling this movie. We're not going to spoil everything, but so his demise I thought it was more effective death than the Elizabeth. That was
right, because they have such an established connection from childhood, and he's like, oh, I've always been afraid of you, because I think he could tell that he had that potential to do great and terrible things, but he just really didn't know how far it was going to go until he was very quite personally affected by it. But and I thought the Elizabeth thing was overly melodramatic and just kind of pantomime the way that went. Oh, she doesn't get out of the way of the bullet. No, who could have imagined? Her actual death was a lot, but I liked what happened afterwards. I was very here for that, with the creature kind of taking her, and that was kind of a beautiful way to wrap that up. But the actual at the it was kind of overstimulating. I was like, what's going on?
Well, you killed the bride at her wedding.
That's crazy.
It seemed maybe, I don't know. Victor, he such an attention whore.
Yeah, honestly. He does a great job at kind of being this asshole, but not completely. I don't know. It's a very nuanced asshole. You don't I didn't end up completely hating him, even though you should by the end of it. If you still feel sorry for him, with just everything, because you see this man's entire life and you're like, oh well, nobody's gonna turn out normal given the life that he had, but also he had the opportunity to change things around. He could have treated people a little kinder, not just people but also the creature, and just but Yeah, I let it kind of get to his head for sure.
Yeah, I like the little anatomical models that he has.
Oh yeah, yeah. His
Those are cool.
entire lab and everything was just like
Mm.
what a marvel. Like I just wanted to kind of soak up all the details of like everything that was there, and it's just because I love production design stuff like that. It's just it's really
You
cool.
listed all those artistic references,
Hmm.
and clearly it makes a lot of sense that all these things would be incorporated here because they showed like Guillermo's sort of in his little man cave of
Oh yeah,
inspiration.
his den of oddities and things. Yeah.
And like I mean it does look a lot like Victor's apartment in
Mm.
this film, just cluttered with all sorts of crazy oddities and just very colorful knickknacks, and all this stuff related to the subject of the film, and like just art from that those various eras, yeah just crazy like all the classical materials that he's pulling
Hmm.
from here. It's amazing he's able to synthesize anything coherent from that, but no,
Yeah.
he
Like it's
definitely does.
overwhelming, but it doesn't overwhelm the film, I think. Like he has a lot in his head that he's able to sort of channel into what it needs to be for the film, and it just like works really well. I'm like, that's pretty astounding. Yeah.
It's like the Catholicism and their icons, they
Hmm.
have a lot of the various mementos that they look to
Oh
for
yes. Hmm.
inspiration. And I don't know, it reminds me in a way of like the uh Conjuring film. What
Oh.
were they, the names? Ed and Lorraine Warren, they had their room full of haunted items, their
Ooh.
little reliquary or what did they call that, their little museum at home of all objects that were formerly kind of macabre
Like a
how
menagerie of like
yeah.
eccentricity or some sorts. I don't know. But yeah, that sounds very fascinating. Yeah.
But I think the thought behind why they would keep that stuff is so it doesn't get into the wrong hand. Yeah, it was like an
Oh, yeah.
occult museum that they
Oh, yeah.
it closed to the public in 2019, I
Oh,
guess.
it's a real place. Oh, dang.
They
Okay.
never, well, they're both dead now, but
Hmm.
she died in 2019.
Oh.
um, so yeah, just like having these things that, I mean, you're just kind of keeping for posterity, and
Hmm.
but,
Archival. Yeah.
but also venerating at the same time.
Right.
Guillermo del
Because
Toro had a
if
lot
it's a
of
museum, like yeah, that's gonna lead to
yeah.
that, I would assume. Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
also really liked, they talk about this in the documentary as well, just like the attention to detail and costuming as well, with like the patterns that they use, a lot of it drawing from the set and like actual textures that you see. I noticed with a lot of Elizabeth's garments, like they have references to like nature, and like there's like beetles kind of informed the colors of one of her dresses. And also I really liked, I saw them like water marbling like one of her tops, which looked so cool. I love that technique. Like I'm from Turkey, and we have like a water marbling technique called Ebru, which is a beautiful, you can make like tulips and other beautiful pieces of art with it. And so whenever I see that, I just like geek out. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But I didn't know it could be used like that on outfits, and I just was like, whoa, that's,
water.
yeah, it leads to really cool patterns and rings and things. And
Mm.
yeah, I hope they get
Color.
recognized for a lot of these, especially like these practical categories. I think they put a lot of work into it, and it definitely didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, I mean, there was like one scene where I'm sort of taken aback. She's in the carriage, and like this striking, bright turquoise sort of
Yeah,
dress.
that was my favorite.
The
Yeah.
Beatles, like those various, brightly colored, and they're so like iridescent. You know,
It's nice to see color in a film like this. Like,
Yeah.
I think the color grading was done like really well. I know that's been a gripe of a lot of films that have come out as of late of like, where's the color? So like, it was really like, sometimes you might think in a movie like this, oh, it's just going to be like dark. There's going to be a lot of like candles and things, but like he didn't shy away from those bright colors. And I commend him for that. Yeah.
The thing that got she looked like a ghost because there was like the gossamer like film
that was cool.
covering the veil sort of it made her look spectral.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the ballet Giselle, which look that up. It's got a kind of a dark story, but all of the corps de ballet and the main character, they have a very similar appearance like that, but they're kind of spirits by the end of it. It's fascinating. But
I guess the character like that, is certainly marked for death, so might as well make it spectacular. Than a grisly death when it comes. And then you had the creature. This has to be like a feature of this novel because they didn't explore it too heavily here, but like he makes a point to confront Victor about, wanting a companion.
Right. Yeah.
And, I mean, you see stories, follow-ups to
Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. Which I think there is a film coming out, which just called The Bride.
Yep.
Yeah.
But to what extent that fits within this telling? I mean, Victor does die at the end. Yeah, they have the little emotional moment between the two of them at the end there, but. Does Shelley's novel leave room for that kind of thing? I can't. Yeah. I mean, what happens to? I'm trying to think back to like the Karloff film, even. Because does he just get chased away with like torches? He has like a thing with fire. I feel. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they necessarily. It is interesting how this is basically a superhero origin story.
Yeah, because it implies that he just sort of steps into the light and just sort of accepts, like, okay, I was, I'm not going to be a perfect human because I wasn't, born like any other human. I just was sort of created, but
he's like a god.
He's just like, I'm just gonna like live my life. I don't know. Now I have freedom to kind of do what I want, but like, what is it like? Is he gonna like? I don't know, like what's his goal in life now? Like, is he going to create his own companion for himself? Like, does he have the skills? Because he has probably access to all of these books and things and probably has been able to absorb some of that information because he does kind of grow at kind of a rapid pace, like mentally throughout the film. Like you start out and he's sort of just kind of figuring out his bearings of like who he is, where he is, not really able to speak yet, but just kind of going through it. And then once he gets to the cottage with like the blind man and everybody there, he's sort of reading, he's able to read and is able to figure out a sense of self and like, oh, I am like, kind of like a Descartes sense of like, oh, I exist. Oh, okay, cool. So like, where do I go from here? And like, what do I actually want in life now that I know that I'm living it? Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah. But just to see the progression of that, I'm sure it kind of implies that he just kind of continues on that course, I guess. But yeah.
Wasn't this movie where you almost get a verbatim, I think, therefore I am? Or
I want to say there was something like that. Yeah.
Companionship and he gets his humanity from Mr. Filch from the Harry Potter film.
Oh yeah, that was him. Yeah.
And then I would believe that he would find some way to make another human.
Yeah, more than possible. Yeah.
Because he's a superhero with godlike,
crazy strength and just indestructible, like cannot possibly be killed. Even if you think you have killed him, like, nope, he's back. Like, just, okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause my first curiosity was how are these pieces? Cause you can see how he's being stitched, but not really. Cause in all the classic portrayals, you see like the stitching
gears and things. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas here it's just seams. There's no like,
it's very tight medical sutures that you can't quite see. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't even look like there could have been anything like that unless they used invisible fishing line or, super glue is one thing that they use nowadays, which
oh wow,
what kind of adhesive
jeez,
properties did they have, materials did they have at their disposal back in the 1840s, 1850? Probably nothing like that. Rubber was maybe barely a thing.
Maybe he melted it. I don't know, soldered it. Who knows?
Wax. Yeah. No, it's just you have to suspend your disbelief with it, and because even and you could just say like, well, once the lightning hit the corpse, then
magic. Yeah. Basically, yeah.
He's able to absorb all his power from the, he's like Superman, doesn't need to eat. He can't just, commit suicide by, having a what would I call that? The protest fat. There's a word for that. But anyway,
hunger strike of sorts.
Strike. Yeah. I can't do that. Presumably, I don't know. But so it's kind of just funny how like he's this kind of invincible thing, despite seeming like he would be. You would think something like that would be frail because it's composed of all these disparate body parts just being sort of slung together. But no, I mean,
the strongest thing that is known. Yeah.
A more perfect human, I guess, is the result of somebody trying to create, you would think like with cloning or with trying to construct some kind of automaton like, construct, some artificial human, that it wouldn't be as good as the genuine article. But
in a sense, like that's the argument, I guess, because it's like, well, if you live forever, is it worth it? Like, is that a life well lived if you have no one else who shares your experience of that? Like, that's kind of what it posits in a way, where it's like the curse of being the Doctor in Doctor Who, where it's like all your companions will die or leave you, and then you're just like this several thousand-year-old being that like cheats death, and you're just like, well, I'm just by myself at the end of the day. But who knows? Like if he's able to create something that also has this sort of immortality, like, hey, at least you'll have this one other person.
Simulacrum was the fancy term I was trying to come up with, but but no, I mean, in this story, it's very much an interesting take on the simulacrum of the human being, and of course it does sort of bring a new twist, and this is a common theme throughout Guillermo del Toro's work is warfare. A world that's been just gripped by violence and war and the human conflict, and he even comments on like capitalism in the documentary as well. And I guess just the various forces that motivate humans to act in, rash fashion. I don't know. Yeah. Well, there's even like a conversation where they're like, something, or was constructed during this war, or was it the war before that, or it's like they can't keep track of all the wars going on. I don't know if that was Christoph Waltz's character, who's because he's an arms dealer. That's how he made his fortune.
But then he has this kind of reveal about himself too, where he's like, he's not doing well in the health department.
He, on his trailer, described him as a realistic Tony Stark. Both arms dealers, but one has the more realistic sort of syphilitic consequences for his lifestyle.
Unfortunately, comes around to bite you.
That was kind of a fun death sequence.
Just throwing it. Jeez,
brutal and
what a way to go.
Kind of an effective bit of pathos where he is wanting, he's sort of rushing Victor because he wants
he doesn't
to
have much time left.
Technology for his own Yeah, because I mean, he's dying, so out of desperation. But then that desperation leads to his downfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so poetic, and then like Victor has to explain to because William and
Oh yeah, the his explanation to them of like, yeah, so where is my relative that's like supposed to be here?
yeah. And the fact that he doesn't kind of come out and say he's dead, that
No, he like skirts around it. Yeah.
definitely was a knock against Victor for me, that he's trying to conceal this obvious, and like he could have at least played down the manner in which I keep wanting just calling him Christoph Waltz. What was the character's name?
You could. I mean,
Harlander.
Harlander. Yeah.
But he does eventually though show the corpse to William, and it's like the transfer of the consciousness is not that's another thing. Things that are sort of touched upon but not fully explored in this film. That's another one of like, then is he wanting to try to utilize this technology to bring about like a sort of immortality, but then he sort of his decision to destroy the lab felt similarly abrupt, and it makes sense because of how erratic the character is just inherently, but also like I don't recall really a light switch moment where that happened. I mean,
I guess he's like, stuck in a position where it's like, well, this could all be used against me potentially. So it's like, well, let's kind of burn it to the ground like it was never there.
It was, because he was almost about to be accepted back into like the Royal Academy.
Yeah.
And there was that like envelope. Was that envelope supposed to be the sort of invitation back? Sort of prominently featured in some.
Yeah, because he was on the up and up, right, before things all came crashing down. But yeah,
maybe he saw the writing on the wall that if he tried to bring that, they reacted so poorly to his initial
prototype.
So I don't know. Yeah, like, and that was he destroys the lab before. You'd think he would go, especially off the reservation once his brother and sister-in-law are dead. But that was even before that, the wedding and all that stuff. So pretty gruesome.
Yeah. But the stuff that followed, I think my favorite stuff was probably, just like the creature sort of coming into his own, like pivoting to his POV and like him just like, just figuring out his way in the world and like running into all these people, wolves, animals. My favorite moment was him with the deer. That was very sweet, very Disney princess. but yeah, I mean, it's funny though, because it's like at the end of the day, he kind of is like this yearner of a character where he's just like, he just wants to be accepted and find a place where he belongs. And I'm like, isn't that the Disney princess way? In a way.
Of course, had to be cut short by the hunters. And this felt a little bit like sort of macabre fantasy wish fulfillment for when I was, a shitheel little, bastard of a kid, like, sorry, just like, as a young boy, wanting to prove my masculinity, just like, loving to learn about guns and hunting and things like that.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's not a phase, Mom. Yeah.
And so like things like Disney print or a Disney film, they would always be enhanced if you had more moments like you see in this film where, you get the moments with the deer and the animals, and then someone comes in and starts blasting away. And so like those would always be the best parts of like Bambi when, gets killed or when the hunters are taking out all the animals, like, oh yeah, no, I can really get into this. This is the one Disney movie that actually like has some decent stuff in it. But no, it felt maybe a little like it did feel excessive, I must say, at points, because then you have like the wolves attack, and I remember learning, as in grade school, like wolves really aren't likely to attack humans.
No, yeah, that's like always, it's in so many films, and like
Yeah.
it's the likelihood of that is like quite rare. But maybe that's what it is. Like they're sensing that he's not quite human and like is more like this predator. Like, yeah. But then again, he is with the humans, and they come for they do come for the humans at the end of the day. But
then the wolves, they conduct this perfectly orchestrated raid on like the farm.
It's so sad. Oh,
for I guess there's
this
the
poor
sheep
old man.
there.
Yeah,
And you never know, I guess, how an animal is going to behave if it's hungry.
yeah.
Just the level.
It could be like a famine or something happening. It's like, well, they have no choice. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So like, just based on movies, you would believe that wolves are the most.
Yeah. In so many movies. It's yeah, for real.
But no, it's like hippopotami are vastly more violent.
Terrifying. Genuinely terrifying. Yeah. And like in movies, they're just like this comic relief, like, oh, look at this sweet little cute thing. And it's like, no, it's huge and it will kill you. Like it's so scary. Yeah.
Well, anyways, and I mean, I guess it is kind of the funny paradox that, if cute, why dangerous?
Yeah. If it looks like friend, why is it not friend? Like if it's friend shaped, then it is a friend. Yeah. There's a lot of examples of that where it's like, no, that's actually not a friend, even though it looks like a friend. But
wolves, foxes, bears, you like to think they're all super friendly,
but they're so cute and cuddly. But no. Yeah.
You see the like the Pokemon Super Bowl. I suppose
what did I see? I only saw the commercial where there was a bunch of celebrities that were sharing their favorite Pokemon, which I thought was really sweet. But yeah,
it was fun. There was a Formula One driver among those.
Oh yeah,
he liked the lion. I don't know any Pokemon.
I was gonna ask you what your favorite was, if you know.
Well, yeah. If I had to pick like a favorite personally, I mean, Bulbasaur is just so cute.
That's a good one. Yeah. Very adorable. I think my favorite as of late, I've been saying, is Primarina. Was very, if you know anything about me with mermaids, she's very mermaid coated. So yeah. Yeah. I think it's an evolution of Poplio, if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a poodle mermaid.
It's very cute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like cutesy, sissy dog, not to be like derogatory, but like little Pomeranian.
Yeah, they're like chibi, kawaii, kind of cute. Yeah.
Like I really love Eevee.
Eevee's great because Eevee can just transform into all these different evolutions.
That's fun too. Yeah. We had a dog that was a lot like Eevee, a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix. So
that's cute.
Super cute. But the miniature wolf type pooches. I like I'm sort of partial towards that kind of thing. So like seeing them being a little bit
terrifying. Yeah.
Well, you see like moments of flesh being ripped from the.
It's quite gruesome. Like those were the most gruesome things, I think, because it's just like nobody deserves that. Like they were just some nice people in the woods. Like
this film is like deliberately designed to make you look away at certain points, I feel. Unless you're a real man. I don't know. Did you ever cover your eyes in the theater?
I don't think I did. I think the only thing that I did, and this is so, I mean, I have like two things in movies that I avoid at all costs. One of them is quite literally a health hazard for me. It's strobing lights, which there weren't many in this film, so that was all right. The other is just like a weird phobia that I have of like puke. I cannot look at it, which I don't remember if this film had any. I don't think it did. Really? So yeah. Like if either of those two things are present, I will look away. But generally, I'm especially when I'm sucked into the story, you kind of I don't know what it is, but I don't know if this is something you experience too. Like when you're really locked in on a story, something horrific could be happening, but like you're just locked in and you kind of overlook it. And then afterwards you're like, did I just watch that happen on the screen? Like, let's dissect that. Like, yeah. So you don't realize it in the moment until afterwards when you're just like coming back to earth and you're just like, huh, yeah, I really just sat through that and I was compelled, you know? Yeah.
It's a good point. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't able to or allowed to watch many R-rated. I was sort of a homebody as a kid, so I didn't even really try to venture out and sneak viewings of stuff that was a little beyond the pale when it came to like what my parents approved of. But like hearing kids describe things at school, of course, and it sounds so scandalizing, but then you watch some of these scenes later on when you revisit some of these movies.
Yeah, it depends on what holds up and what doesn't. You're just like, okay, was that what everybody was ranting and raving about? Like, okay. But some of it really it really depends on the film and the moment, but yeah.
Oh, he attempts intercourse with a pie. Oh, how horrifying! No, but his mom walks in, so that's extra. No, I don't know if that was one scene that was a big playground sort of retelling. The movie I'm talking about, of course,
American Pie, which I haven't seen, but okay. Yeah.
But things like that, of course, and but then like. Getting just kind of immersed in the role, that's very, very true. But this is some scenes like them sawing through the corpse.
Yeah. I was like, there's a lot of body horror in this. Where if you describe this to me before going in, I'd be like, I don't know if this is a film for me. And then you're watching it and you're like, no, wait, this makes sense. Like he's creating them, like, like there's a reason and intentionality for it. Like it's not just like gore for gore's sake, I guess. But
this version from battlefields rather than from cemeteries, which is
that was an interesting touch. Yeah, where it's like these are all like former soldiers that have various injuries and maladies and illnesses, sure. And then I think I saw this in the behind the scenes special as well, where the creature takes the coat from one of them.
Oh yeah, that was
like
great.
It has like his spine kind of imprinted into it because like I assume this corpse was just out there for a while and probably in the cold and just like his spine kind of imprinted into the fabric, and that retains as he's wearing that coat. I'm like, that's such a cool touch. Like I would have never thought of that. Like that's their minds. Like, yeah, very, very cool. Yeah.
I was wondering if I just took that to mean that Elordi's, the creature had a visible skeletal,
like a hunchback or something,
sort of sticking out or something. But no, it would have been from the because he is pretty Adonis-like in this.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point of him, of like being this perfect specimen. But yeah. You would have struggled with Send Help if you didn't see that. The Sam Raimi movie that just came out. Oh, I haven't seen that. No.
No, I think you'd enjoy it, but there's a little bit of, say, vomiting that goes on.
Yeah, which is why what is that movie, Knives Out, which I have not seen that, but everybody's telling me you wouldn't like it. And I was like, oh man, like that's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a little less punctuated there because it's a recurring
more for comedic effect, I would assume, but like, yeah.
That annoyed me too, that element of the character from Knives Out where like, it's so bizarre. Like, I guess that could be a real thing because she can't lie, because if she does, she has an automatic vomiting response. That is uncontrollable.
Jeez.
And it just felt like real, I don't know. It almost seems holier than thou in a way, like sort of pretentious how someone would be so unable to commit this faux pas that they can't, it causes them to this horror, any sort of act of unrighteousness is just so unseemly that I can't stomach it.
Oh, that's where it comes from, huh?
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know. It could be.
Maybe, yeah.
who knows why this character developed that in that.
Yeah.
It's Anna de Armas's character, and that's
Okay, yeah.
but it is gross. Like then, if she, I don't know what under what circumstances she has to. I think because she eventually finds out who the real culprit is, and just to protect her own life, she has to, make it seem as though
Yeah.
she's not clued into that. So
What a gross take on Pinocchio, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, Pinocchio. Tie it back into Guillermo del Toro. No, but anyways, yeah. So the body horror, it's just done in sort of such a stylized way here.
Yeah.
It's not
tasteful.
So,
yeah. I mean, he's sawing a leg off, but also it's like, no, you see the point of it. I don't know.
Yeah, the thematic thing about the war, sequences of war that show up throughout his film. Pan's Labyrinth, of course, but said during the Spanish Civil War, and then Pinocchio, was that World War One or some other similar conflict? Yeah, I think they did sort of move the story forward in Pinocchio to be set during the Great War.
That would make sense if it's like in Italy. Did they still set it in Italy as well too? Or
yeah. Okay, yeah, you haven't seen that yet, huh?
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's fascinating animation, the kill film. So definitely worth checking. I think that's on Netflix too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta put that on my list for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know. In some ways, this did maybe feel a bit like a Netflix movie, just because it does sort of hit you over the head with certain things, and it is funny just how transparently explicit we've heard now that certain there have been certain directives from like streaming services, particularly Netflix, I think, because it came out in like a Matt Damon or Ben Affleck interview, because they have this new Netflix movie, and like they were willing to cop to the fact that like they were told that they should try to maybe reiterate certain plot specific important details throughout the film, throughout their screenplay, basically, so that people who are watching their movie and simultaneously scrolling on their phone can follow along.
Dinner or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Like a streamable film that's like, made for like, not the attention spans of now, but like the tendency to multitask, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to revisit the film with that in mind, because I had kind of the unique experience of seeing it at the theater, and which is a lot different, but yeah.
I don't know if this film suffers too much from that, but I mean, I always just feel like there is a certain stink when it comes to straight to streaming movies. I think it's less
with some other ones I've seen. I can definitely notice that. Yeah.
Yeah. This one transcends that clearly in almost every way, and it's getting the awards recognition, because of that clearly. But like, maybe in I don't know, Guillermo sometimes deals in broad strokes in some of his films, which is good, because like he's really able to just to have that style and just compensate for any kind of failings through just that sheer magnitude of presentation that he has. So I don't know. Yeah, did you have any particular criticisms of the film overall, or?
I don't know. It's I haven't revisited it in full since I watched it in October, so I'm gonna have to like watch it again. And like my last revisiting of it was through this documentary, and it highlighted all the stuff that I really liked about it. I do know, like, that middle section kind of dragged on a little bit, like pacing wise. I think that would be like the main thing that I took away as like they could have dealt with that differently, I guess. Cause yeah, it kind of gets slow in that area, but I guess everything can't be super, I don't know, fast paced or whatever. But
yeah, I was curious how unsympathetic the Frankenstein creature would ultimately be. I mean, he does spawn from the Victor Frankenstein character, who is very unsympathetic throughout most of the film, and the fact that he kills sailors and then eventually forces his way onto the ship, but clearly leaves a decent amount. At the end, most of the sailors are still alive. I don't know if he kills more once he boards the ship the second time, or
because he's looking for Victor at the end. Like that's who he wants to confront. Like everybody else is collateral in this, but yeah,
and then that's when it picks up from his perspective too. The creature and him finding his humanity and stuff. So like, you eventually grow to really love. And that's like the biggest saving grace in the film, the fact that Elordi and the creature are such a great combo of character and actor. The narrative style, the narration felt very of the time of like was it Dracula there's like the one chapter that's like the voyage of the Demeter that's just told from captain's perspective. So you get things like that, these the narrative framing devices that get utilized, or like it'll be told like it's entries from a diary or journal, in some of these classic novels. And a lot of times they were published as like serialized chapters.
Yeah. Phantom of the Opera is kind of like that too, where it's like, it was written as like sort of like a newspaper clipping of like this journalist writing in about these affairs of the Phantom. Speaking of which, Guillermo del Toro has this idea of making his own Phantom of the Opera. I know that's been something that he's been, and it seems very up his alley. Like that seems like a likely story for him to do. I don't think there's any cast tap to it or anything yet. People have been saying potentially Rachel Zegler might be involved as Christine. I would like to see that. I don't know if it's going to be musical, but it's Phantom of the Opera. There's going to be music involved, but not going to be Andrew Lloyd Webber's, but it'll be probably similar to how they did like the Charles Dance one, which hey, but where it's like they use opera music, but it's like they don't make an original score. But so I hope that happens, and I'm curious to see who will play the titular, Phantom and everything, but and how he approaches that character, who can be. He's kind of the antagonist of the story at the end of the day, even though quite romanticized, and it's someone that like a lot of people are rooting for, but also is like, oh, this is a murderer, and he has like no regard for most humans' lives and everything. But like, okay, he just wants to make music. Like, anyway, but so if that happens, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm kind of a fan of even the Schumacher Phantom of the Opera. Yeah, honestly, it holds up. Like, that was my introduction to Phantom of the Opera, even though I'd grown up with the music, love it, would love to be in it someday. Hello. I really liked like the way that he filmed it, and just was very, again, like a very like immersive production as well, even if all the singing was not exactly what I would have liked it to be, but it's over. Win some, you lose some.
Well, it's over 20 years old now, so I mean, Guillermo del Toro wanted to make his own.
Would like to see it.
It is kind of like Gerard Butler. That is his voice doing the Phantom.
That is his voice. Yeah, the only person that was dubbed on that was Minnie Driver, because Carlotta is quite an operatic heavy role. So they dubbed an opera singer to sing for her. But Emmy Rossum's doing all her vocals. She was quite young when she recorded that. Anyway, I revisited this recently. They did a screening of it at an Alamo Draft House. It was like a quasi like immersive screening kind of experience. It was, I ended up with getting free tickets for any Alamo Draft House show afterwards, because at the beginning,
where's there an Alamo?
I think there's only one in like Woodbury, which is the one I went to. In the city. So, and I like how they present their films. Like they usually will do like some kind of behind the scenes featurette that they created in house, like, which I really enjoy seeing how they, like, their take on that. They take you through historical references, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they also had a little singing contest. And so they were like, if anyone wants to come up and sing something from Phantom, I was like, well, sure. So I got a free ticket out of it, and I used it for Fire Walk with Me. So that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think it's kind of fun that maybe he's a little unpolished there, Butler, because the Phantom, he's just such a pompous, a-hole. Like,
it's like all talk, and then when it comes to it, it's like, oh, so you can't actually sing the stuff that you're writing. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it's. To my ear, it's fine, but like also, it's not as polished as it could be, and perhaps like the stage, performances are.
I liked it when I was a kid, and then I got an opera degree, and then I was like, oh, yeah.
But it isn't Russell Crowe, at least.
No, that was particularly rough. Yeah, and that guy can sing. Like he's in a band. He's just, that style was just not it for him. But yeah, so if Guillermo tackles Phantom of the Opera, would love to see maybe some opera artists involved or something, or people who can sing that material. Or it doesn't have to be that material, but like I think it would be probably like, he'll probably bring in works of like Verdi and Puccini and things like that. Like, I think, bringing in historical references, but I was going to say, I can't remember if my viewing of Frankenstein had trailers. I think it did, but I don't remember what they were for, because this was back in October. I don't know where I was going with this. I was trying to like think of like what movies they were like hyping up along this one.
Well, I thought I recently, was it in the documentary or maybe something else I'd seen? He also had some other adaptations. He was. He wanted to do like a Dracula at some point, but
I could see that. Yeah.
That's been done quite a bit. There's even another Dracula movie out right now. Isn't that Luc Besson or something?
Oh, speaking of Frankenstein, I think Frankenstein and Phantom of the Opera are involved in this. So Universal has their Epic Universe out now. And they have a ride called Monsters Unleashed. And it has a bunch of the Universal monsters in it, in various like animatronic forms. They have a fantastic, like their version of, like, it's the Karloff creature, but it's very, very well done. And then they have like the Lon Chaney Phantom, and like, I want to say they also have like the Hunchback as well. Like a lot of these like core Universal Monsters characters that are, and they don't have them like walking around the parks. I think some of them they do. Like, I think they have the Bride of Frankenstein walking around Epic Universe, but like, I don't think they have the actual like creature himself. But yeah, so like starting to kind of see all these things sort of integrate together in a way. I really would like to see that attraction, like to visit the park and see how integrated that is. And because people are saying it's very like immersive and very, very well done, very like just the animatronics are really like state of the art type technology. And I always enjoy seeing that. So as a theme park enthusiast for sure, but
about being immersed in the subject. Yes. I mean, if you saw some intense sequences of gore in one of those attractions, like, I don't think I would really mind. It'd be like, oh, cool.
It's like, well, I am moving upside down right now. So does it even matter? Like,
But they have to be a little careful because it's more catered to a wide audience. But this movie was definitely, certified R. Like, they wouldn't have been able to. Sometimes with these streaming movies, they'll use like the television rating system, like maybe go for like a TV.
Oh, MPAA, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Well, there's the MPAA that does PG-13, PG.
So sometimes they do. Yeah.
Then there's the TV system. I'm not sure
MA,
what
right?
Governing body. Yeah, there's MA, TV-14, TVY7, TVPG.
Gotcha. Okay,
and like I think Stranger Things is like a TV 14 technically, even though like the violence and gore level is well beyond.
That can get up there from what I've seen.
There's like the Corridor crew that does the review of like visual effects in
Corridor Digital, is that what they're called? Yep. Okay,
Quarter
yeah.
Digital, and like they were shocked at some of the moments in the new season of Stranger
Oh,
Things.
wow.
Like it's so rad. Like he comes up behind the guy and stabs him through the skull, and
Oh,
you like
geez.
see the tendrils just come through the
Wow.
front of the face, just like full on. I mean, it's cool looking, but it's you wouldn't think TV 14. I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
let the high schoolers watch this. Like, okay.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I guess yeah, and it's subject wise, like Stranger Things, it's targeted
yeah, it
towards
is younger kids.
younger
Yeah.
skewing, and it's very much catering to that aesthetic of the 80s.
80s nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had movies back then like, India Temple
Goonies.
of
Yeah.
Doom. Well, Goonies, of course,
Yeah.
in terms of like the characters, but like the gore and
Oh,
horror
sure. Yeah.
elements. Have you seen the second Indiana Jones film where
Yes. Yeah.
the heart ripping? This is so
Yeah.
crazy.
That's intense. Hmm.
And even the Raiders has like the
Hmm.
melting faces and
Yeah.
the corpse effects in the
Pretty
movie.
gruesome. Yeah. But
So
still like an adventure. It's like, yeah,
yeah, well, like you were saying about just getting lost in the picture,
exactly.
that stuff
Yeah.
not necessarily. Yeah, it's always nice when you're able to view the product as a whole and not get
Hmm.
like that's always my issue with like the prudish viewer.
Hmm.
You're always on the lookout. You've got your guard up for, oh, is
Hmm.
there any sex or any moments of overly excessive violence, or this
Yeah,
one
I guess
triggering thing.
it depends on if it serves the narrative. If it feels like it doesn't, then it's like it pulls you out of it, and you're like, well, what was the point of that? But like, if it's made in such a like an artful way where you're like, oh, I understand the point of this, like, and then you're already immersed, and it's just like adds to the immersion. You're like, oh yeah, yeah.
I've definitely seen that effect come into play if it's an effective enough piece of
Hmm.
fiction, where someone who's normally turned off by certain subject matter will just be kind of won over by
Yeah.
something. So it's always impressive when a project is able to really transcend the the content in a way, the content that being such a buzzword nowadays.
Yeah.
And if something is just sort of strictly acting as serving as content, it's more likely to be scrutinized. So
Looking at the whole rather than the sum of the parts in a way. Yeah.
yeah, it always bugged me too, like listening to review shows and podcasts, in my just getting into like film criticism, kind of dabbling in the art of that the whole form, podcasting about film, writing about film. And it seemed like certain commentators would have a hard time seeing any merit in a film if there was like an overall negative bent towards
Hmm.
their review. Then everything about this film, this item that they're reviewing, then must be tainted in some way.
Hmm.
And it was always, it's always a bummer if they're talking about something that I maybe enjoyed to more or less or a greater degree, like and it just being kind of savaged as if it's
Hmm.
beyond redemption. So I don't know. Have you ever noticed that, like when people are reviewing things, and if it's a negative score, then they'll just literally have nothing positive to say about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I definitely have seen that. And I wonder sometimes if people have a bias going into it that sort of like informs what lens they see the film in. Where so like if they're not open minded enough, they're just like, well, I'm already in kind of a downer mood. And so everything I see is gonna, be seen through that lens. And
Yeah.
that's just how it is. But like, yeah, I feel like, I don't know, at the end of the day, like I just kind of like enjoy films for what they are, and like even if I don't like everything, like there's always something that I'm like, yeah, like they really ate with that, or like I really want to give this particular person their flowers for this thing that impacted me, even if this is a like whatever film, if I have a negative opinion of a film or something, is like not one I would like rewatch or something, but like there's still like aspects of it of like, you did that. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, writers, they, their work can get tedious, and I think it just can be cathartic to really just unload on something every once in a while.
Yeah. It's more of a journal entry than like a review for consumption. It's like, oh, you had a lot to say there. Like, yeah.
That can be fun to read. There's certain things, if I really enjoy something, or at least partially enjoy something, and then I listen to someone just tear it to shreds, there are times where I can really enjoy that.
Yeah, because they sometimes will bring up things. They're like, oh, I didn't see it in that lens, but valid that somebody else saw it in that lens. Like, okay, yeah, it's part of the movie watching experience. Yeah,
I think that for me, like, I love Formula One, and the movie was like fine, but
okay, yeah, I was wondering what your thoughts on it were, because that was a big hype one for you. Yeah,
but I wasn't like head over heels for it either. After I was like, yeah, I mean, I have issues. You have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit for this thing.
Sure.
And there were some people who were pretty glowing towards it and got like overall positive reviews, and it did well at the box office.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it had an overall positive effect on the F1 industry, but there were certain reviews I listened to that were just savaging, and that was kind of,
yeah.
And I enjoyed just hearing those perspectives.
Yeah, sometimes it just kind of, because it gives you a different mindset as well. It's just like, oh, like, yeah, they wouldn't have thought about, but yeah. I was wondering if you'd seen a lot of the other films that are up for Oscars right now, like, because I know this film has several awards, including or Best Picture. They're nominated for that. But I've not really been following Oscar buzz as much, but I was wondering if you've been on that train, if you have picks as well, like picks to win or favorites. I don't know who the favorites are right now, but anything. But
I heard, there are some reviewers who were characterizing, I mean, they'll name the, who are the heroes and the villains of this award season, and
they always want to make a narrative about it.
Well, it's always fun. I mean, Hamnet was described as a villain.
Oh, interesting.
Like, maybe a little overblown, sort of. And what was one of the more sympathetic entries? Not probably Frankenstein. I think they would say more a villain because they were pretty harsh towards Oscar Isaac.
Oh wow, interesting. Reviewers. I thought he did a great job. Like, yeah.
I mean, what are some of the other ones?
Well, let's look it up. Let's see. 98th Academy Awards. Okay.
I really liked Hamnet, by the way. That's probably
so you saw it. Okay, yeah.
Sinners. Everyone's gung ho for Sinners, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. F1 is nominated. I did not know that. Okay, that's interesting. So the other ones. Okay, so we've got Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams are the Best Picture nominees.
I've seen Train Dreams, and I've seen almost all of the.
Okay, yeah.
I read the list one more time. See if there's.
Yeah, starts with Begonia.
I've seen.
F1, yes. Frankenstein, yes. Yep. Hamnet. Yep. Marty Supreme. I'm sure you saw that one. Yeah. One Battle After Another.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Secret Agent.
No, have not.
Okay. Sentimental Value.
No.
Oh, Sinners. Yeah.
Secret Agent. Was that no, that wasn't. It's not a Korean movie, is it?
It is. It's not Korean, but it is. Let me think. Is this Brazilian? I think it might be Brazilian.
Okay.
From what I can look at. Yes.
All right.
Distributed by Vitrine Films Brazil.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. It's Portuguese. Yeah.
Park Chan-wook, I think, or one of the, not Bong Joon-ho. Did Bong Joon-ho? Oh, he did Mickey 17, which, that kind of fizzled. But yeah, Park Chan-wook, I think, has
Yeah, and then Sinners and Train Dreams are the other two. Yeah.
Okay, Sentimental Value. I don't. One I want to see is If I
That's
Had
Norwegian.
Legs, I Would Kick You.
Oh yeah, have not seen that, but have heard. Yeah, I know Rose Byrne. Yeah, she's up for Best Actress in that, but I don't think the film itself is up for Best. No.
Sentimental Value is a Norwegian film drama. I mean, that could be. I really enjoyed the Anatomy of a Fall.
Oh,
French.
okay.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. You spent a lot of time in the French court system in that.
Oh, wow. Exciting. Thrilling.
Yeah. You guy with the big wig and everything. It's very flamboyant.
Oh, the animated films. Have you seen? I'm assuming you saw most of them, if not all of them. But we've got Arco.
I'm not seen
Elio, which I still haven't seen that. K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain. That looks beautiful. And Zootopia 2. So those are the animated ones.
Interesting. Oh, cool. So yeah, well, I mean, thanks, Lara, for hanging out and going over all this stuff. And thanks to everyone sticking with us here too. I never introduced myself on this show, unfortunately. So but my voice you've been hearing is that of Philip up here up north. I'm pretty sure I didn't introduce myself on this episode, but who cares?
We just got right into it.
You hop in, it'll be in the description. So it's like I'll have to work on formalities, but try to hopefully upload more in the coming months. I just it's hard to schedule, and I felt stuff going on both internally, externally. It's just I kind of we do this when we're in the mood,
right? When the stars align, it's like okay, here we go.
Perfect description. So yeah, thanks for just hanging out for maybe a little.
Yeah, happy to for sure.
But a lot of interesting stuff we still have to see. And of course, my enthusiasm for wanting to check out some of these works waxes and wanes tremendously as I go about my mercurial life. And most of the time, I kind of just want to listen to F1 podcasts and watch YouTube videos about miscellaneous. I guess a recent fascination of mine is like Scott the Woz. He talks about like Nintendo stuff, and I never owned a Nintendo console as a kid.
Oh, really?
But, I mean, it's just such a huge piece of like popular culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
As an institution. So I just learning about it has been so fascinating. And he talks about, thankfully, like he has videos on like, so, Xbox and PlayStation and other, things beyond just Nintendo, but it's mostly Nintendo. I always had PlayStation growing up.
Oh, yeah. I was more of a Nintendo kid. Yeah, we had the Wii, they had the DS. I still play on my DS to this day. I very much enjoy that, but yeah.
Yeah, cool that you're keeping that. Because I imagine, some of these
Game Boy too, yeah.
Yeah, probably just use like standard AA batteries on some of them, right?
Yeah, and it's rechargeable, so it's like it's very Yeah,
those rechargeable batteries will die at some point. But
they've held up pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, then people are, I think, always like coming out with aftermarket stuff for these because I mean these were such popular devices that there's always going to be people in the repair industry. And like I recently got a refurbished OG PlayStation.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my one PlayStation console I've never owned apart from the PS Vita.
The Vita.
I won't ever do Vita because it just didn't take off very well.
Yeah.
But the OG. I mean, I just felt like I had a hole in my collection.
Collector's got to collect. I feel that. Yeah.
I have 2 PS3s that I'm currently using. I have 2 PS2s at home. They both work. I think at least one of those has been refurbished. Probably both of them. Because after a while, like the belts go out because they, the disk drives and stuff, the moving parts.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Like little rubber belts in them that will degrade over time.
Yikes.
So eventually those kinds of devices that have like the disk drives and stuff, you'll need to, if you don't service them yourself, take them in, which is fine. I mean, they all run great as far as I can tell. And then I have the one PS4, one PS5. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to get, I haven't been doing a ton of gaming lately, but like trying to get more into, but you say you still use your DS?
Like it's nice and it's cute, and like there's just like, I don't know, I guess it's the nostalgia of it, but also some of those games, like the ones I played at least, like some of them hold up, some of them are like not, like a lot of shovelware, but like even among the shovelware, like there's a couple gems that I just really enjoyed, and it's also nice, like I can put some of my Game Boy games in it as it's backwards compatible, so that's
I had one of my biggest thrills last year of consuming media of any kind was revisiting a game from my earliest days of discovering video games. At least at home, I would sometimes go to friends' houses and they would have the OG PlayStation, which my first console was a PS2. But before that, we got our PC upgraded to where we could play fairly contemporary video games on it. And so there were a few early PC games that were my seminal moments,
cool. Yeah.
Like falling in love with gaming. And one game happened to be just like the film tie-in game for the Jim Carrey Grinch movie.
Fun. Yeah.
And so like playing that was so so fun, just at an early age, solving the little puzzles and the platforming challenges. And I don't even know if I fully beat the game to the credits back then, because there were just certain parts of that game that were a little challenging, and it's not the most engaging. It didn't get rave reviews or anything. It's very, very basic for like a movie tie-in type of thing. But just like going back and I got it on console.
Sentimental. It's like you grew up with it. And it's just like, and then like that accomplishment of like, I cleared this level that I was never able to clear when I was a kid. Like, my Shrek 2 Game Boy game was very much that for me. Yeah,
it was profound. Like revisiting that, and then it's always fun diving into like a classic PS1 game too. I played that Grinch on the PC when I was growing up, but having the controller in your hand and doing some of the old school gaming, there's a nostalgia factor there. And I got kind of real sick at the beginning of the year last year, and I just kind of holed up in my bedroom and played this Grinch game, and then as I was sort of coming out of it, testing for F1 was ramping up, and they do these sessions in Bahrain of all places.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it's like 8 hours per day. They're out on track for 3 consecutive days. And it's all broadcast. Like they have multiple commentary teams cycling in and out of the studio throughout the whole day of testing. And I would just watch all of that coverage whilst playing, like the
multitasking. Hey,
on my because PS3 plays PS1 games real well.
Yeah.
You do that over the HDMI, so it looks real nice.
Nice.
My PS1 I actually have at my job.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Into one of my computer monitors. I don't use it. I'm not slacking on the job a ton doing that. I'm slacking doing other things mostly, but playing PlayStation, it's a little too conspicuous maybe at times. No. I've made it quite a ways into that. Well, maybe only like 15% on this particular playthrough, but I'll work my way. I'll use my procrastination time more wisely, so I can get into some of these old school PS1 games. Sorry, thanks for indulging all this crap for me.
It's a fun tangent, yes.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my my media goals / reminiscences 2025 into 2026. So yeah. Anyways, the Thodcast conversations about animation. Anything else from you, Laura, on Frankenstein?
I can't really think of anything. I really want to watch it again and see how streaming affects my viewing of it. And it's like, you know, if I thought a lot of it from watching it in the theater, and like if that really kind of affected my experience, because I really enjoyed it. And like just like everybody, also just like the collective energy in the room was also really like glued in. And it's just, I don't know, when I get the chance to watch something in the theater, I will take that chance. Like the other movie that was a streaming movie that I got to watch in theaters relatively recently was K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was pretty electric because it was a sing-along as well. And people had light sticks. Like it was fully like it almost Rocky Horror in the way that people were responding to it. And so that was a fun time. So when I do get the chance to do that, it's great. It's golden. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if one battle after another, you know, took it this year. People, that was sort of one of the hero contenders. Hamnet, though, I really enjoyed. But I mean, K-pop, give it all to K-pop Demon.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like best song, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it twice, and of all the movies probably up for Oscars, it's maybe the one I'd like to revisit again the most, you know, immediately out of any of them. But one battle after another.
Yeah, so that's what I need to see. Yeah. I've heard pretty good things about it. Yeah.
Wild, right? So, all right. Well, we'll wrap this up here on Thodcast Conversations about animation. I've been Philip here, joined by Lara, couple crazy Minnesotans, and thank you so much for listening. And I don't know, any social media to plug, Lara?
You can find me most places, just Lara Call. If not, then I don't know, but yeah, that's where I am usually. Just All
right. Yeah, find me at Philip Elke and at Thodcast, and yeah, we podcast.com. Thanks again, and we always like to sign off by wishing all you warmest of greetings, warm hugs. Yay. Of course, have a magical day, have a wonderful week, all that good stuff. Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye.